Hi, this is Gina Versa. I'm here at Long Beach Comic Con and with the Waffle Press. I'm here with Greg Weisman, the producer of Star Wars Rebels, Young Justice, and co-creator of Gargoyles. How you doing, Greg?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty good, pretty good. So, Greg, is it? Um, first question. So, Rebels. Really loved the last two seasons. How cool was it to like work in the Star Wars universe?
It was a lot of fun. I only did season one, but worked with some great people, and it was just like a dream come true to be working in the Star Wars galaxy.
What's your favorite Star Wars movie, if you don't mind me asking?
Empire.
Empire?
Mm-hmm.
I guess that leads to another question for Star Wars. So New Hope and Empire, they're almost like completely different. One's really lighthearted, and the other's really dark. What does that say about Star Wars that you could have like these two types of genres, I guess?
I think both those movies are incredibly entertaining, which I think is sort of job one. But it's a great sort of universe that George built, and it accommodates a lot of different kinds of storytelling, and that's sort of the test to see if you've got enough depth there, and clearly obviously Star Wars does.
Definitely. Just changing gears here. I'm sure you get asked this question a lot, and of course I have to ask it. Season 3 for Young Justice, how much of a chance do you think?
Well, I don't know how to put a number to it, but I feel good about it. I feel good about our chances, and we're asking the fans to help us out by doing things like binge watching or buying the Blu-rays or buying the comics on Comixology or iTunes. Those are things that are helping to get us attention in a good way, and we're really seems to be having an effect. It seems like we're building some momentum, and I feel good about it. But I don't even work at Warner Brothers anymore, so I've got no inside information. But I do feel good. I feel positive about it.
If you were a betting man, you'd definitely make a bet on it?
Well, I'm not a betting man, actually. But yeah, I would. I'm repeating myself, but I just feel good about it.
How does it feel to be in like an era where like the fans could help shows get another season, or they kind of have a huge influence now? I was just curious.
Well, I think it's great if and when they get organized. I mean, it would have been even greater if we had been able to do this while season 2 was going and not had this long gap between. There's this sort of feeling that fans have that if they like a show, it'll just be there, and they don't seem to get that shows are economically driven, and if you want to keep a show going, you've got to do whatever it takes to keep that show funded, and that didn't happen for us during season 2 of Young Justice, which is why we didn't get a season 3. But like I said, I think the fans have sort of banded together now, and that's great. But it's always harder to bring a show back than it is to keep it going.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about some other show other than Young Justice, and fans are looking for advice, I'm like, don't wait till it's gone and then say, well, what do I need to do? Do it while it's on.
Definitely. And just talking about your writing style here, I was reading a few interviews where you talked about Shakespeare being a huge influence.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that lends itself to certain characters that you worked with, say in the Star Wars or comic book universe? Or
well, I used a lot of Shakespeare in Gargoyles and Spectacular Spider-Man in particular. It wasn't as much of an influence on Young Justice, but there's probably a touch of it in there, and probably a touch of it in Star Wars Rebels. But of course, since Star Wars Rebels was set a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, you're not going to get any Shakespeare quotes in there, really. But it influences my storytelling.
oh, okay. Do you feel just off topic here? Do you feel like it should be read or should be seen Shakespeare plays?
Well, I've done both, but I think it's much more fun to see them. I've seen every canon Shakespeare play now except King John. So I was down to 2 until just a few weeks ago, and I finally saw Timon of Athens, a production of that, which was great, and I was very excited to see it. Now I'm really hoping to see King John so I can complete the set.
Yeah. What's your favorite play film?
I don't, my brain doesn't work in terms of favorites. There are a lot of plays I like. I really like Lear, and I really like Hamlet, and I like Romeo and Juliet, and I like Much Ado About Nothing, and all the history plays, and there's usually something in almost every one of Shakespeare's plays that I like, but I don't really think in terms of what's my favorite. I don't see much point in choosing a favorite.
And one last question for you. Is there one character from DC Universe that, because in Young Justice, there was a ton of cameos that we saw on the show that you always wanted to do like an episode with, or you never got never got a spotlight that you wanted to do?
Well, I have a ton of favorite characters in the DC Universe, but if you're asking like what else I might want to do, I'm not going to answer that question because we're hoping to do a season 3, and I don't want to give out spoilers for it.
Okay, fair enough. So cool. Thank you so much for your time, Greg.
You're welcome.
Yeah.